the true meaning of Christmas right here.
Gimme! Hey guys, it's me Jasmine. I'm feeling super festive today because we're gonna be making cocoa bombs. You've probably seen them all over your TikTok, but if you haven't, they are these molded chocolate balls filled with hot cocoa toppings. And we're gonna be making a few variations of those today, including one for cider lovers. Can't forget you cider lovers. Let's begin! I'm so excited! So the first cocoa bomb we're gonna do is a white chocolate peppermint one. I have my white chocolate morsels and we're gonna melt this down. Cook time, 1 minute. Once that melts down, we will brush it into our silicone molds. You guys learned juggling in middle school? I remember that. Oh, I didn't keep a lookout for the time. Oh, what's wrong with me? All right, let's give this a little mix. It kind of smells like cheese. This is the first year I've purchased holiday pajamas. I feel like I've been missing out my whole life now. It's like I put these on and I'm instantly so happy. This looks pretty good. So we can begin to brush these into the molds and then it'll give it time to harden. I might need a pastry brush for this. Do you think chocolatiers as kids, they were like, I want to be a chocolatier when I grow up? Why didn't we dream of that? Let me switch to my pastry brush. Oh, this is so much better. I poured too much chocolate. It's not dispersing evenly. Because we need to melt down the edges in a bit, let's just get rid of this excess chocolate. You need to clean it when the chocolate's hot. Otherwise, it will crack. Oh no, they cracked. I should have done it. Oh, this is where I'm messing up. Okay, my confidence has definitely just continued to decrease, but I'm optimistic because I've got the holiday spirit. I'm gonna pop this in the fridge. Oh no, there's no space. This is why you don't go to the grocery store hungry, because there's no space in your fridge after that. And now we're gonna take them out of the molds. I see people using gloves to avoid fingerprints, so that's what I'm gonna do too. Oh, we got our first one. Pretty smooth. It cracked! Oh my God. I'm gonna start it off with some hot cocoa powder, little truffle inception, or marshmallows. And of course, you can't forget your pretty sprinkles. Oh my God, so cute! So now we're gonna decorate the tops. I have my red candy melt. No! Now I'm gonna do it with the chocolate, which seems to have melted. No, it's not working. It's definitely not as cute as I want it to be. But because it's still wet, I'm gonna sprinkle some crushed peppermint. Cute. Both the bottom and the tops of the cocoa bomb are done. So I've heated up a pan over here. So we're gonna melt down those bottoms. Not too long, not too long. Put it on top of here. Gotta work quickly. Oh, look at that. Oh my God. Forgot to wear gloves. There's fingerprints on this. Look how cute it is. Oh my goodness. Now that all our cocoa bombs are complete, we can go ahead and drink them. So we're gonna grab our mug, put a cocoa bomb inside, and slowly pour over hot milk. Woo! Babe, come here. You wanna see?
Oh my God, what is that? Whoa, that's crazy.
Oh my God.
Beautiful.
Yeah!
That looks so good.
Stir it with my candy cane.
Oh my God, I want to try it. That looks so good.
Oh my God, that's so cool. The last step, whipped cream. And let's not be afraid for some extra sprinkles.
Oh, that's so cool.
Ta-da! Cheers! Mmm.
Oh my God,
That's so
that
good.
is so good. Oh, I want more. It's so chocolatey, slightly pepperminty. That is really good. That's a banger.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. This one is the butterscotch cocoa bomb for our cider. I know some people don't love hot chocolate, but to each their own, and some people prefer cider. So I have some melted butterscotch right here. Make the outsides again. My butterscotch is grainy, which I think means I burnt it. That just continues my streak of messing up melting chocolate. So I'm gonna try letting it set by layers. So I'll do this first one and then pop it in the fridge and let this set and do one more layer. So I did the second layer and let it set again. Seems pretty good and a lot faster than just pouring it and kind of pushing it up along the sides in one take. So I recommend doing it in layers. Let's hope none of these are happening. I also already cleaned out the sides. No! Okay, I'll fix that. We have the 3 bottoms. Let's add our toppings. For this one, I'm going a little fruitier. I feel like it goes with the vibe more. These are some dried pomegranates. After the pomegranate, gotta add some dry apples. And finally, just gonna add some white chocolate chips. I was gonna add the glitter in there again, but because it's sunk in the last one, learning from our mistakes, and we're not gonna add them in this time. We'll just put it on top of the whipped cream. Let's go add the tops. I am going to do a white chocolate drizzle and top it with those pretty fall sprinkles. Yay, look how festive this is. I'm obsessed with this. I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw a Cocoa Bomb TikTok, I was like, that's aight, that's cool. Look at me now. This is like so fun as a craft activity. And then you get to drink it and eat it afterwards, and it's sugar and it makes you happy. I'll take any happiness I can get this year. Now we just gotta put the tops on the Cocoa Bombs. Oh my God, this one's way meltier. I need my gloves. This one feels so fragile. It's sticking. Apply pressure, apply pressure. Okay, I was scared for a second. It was melting at like super speed. Okay. We got it! Yes! Oh my God, look how pretty they are. My Cocoa Bomb babies. I love them. Welcome to the family, my friends. Now that the Cocoa Bombs are put together, it's time to make these guys explode. I brought my boyfriend back for another Cocoa Bomb experience. He seemed to really enjoy the first one. So this one is the butterscotch Cocoa Bomb for cider.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
All right, babe, you ready for this cider bomb?
Heck yeah.
We're gonna put the butterscotch bomb over there into the mug. Oh, it's so pretty. I don't even want to ruin it.
The magic begins.
You ready?
Wow, that looks so festive. Dang. This is the true meaning of Christmas right here.
So cute!
Beautiful. What is it?
Dried apples, dried pomegranate, and then there's a few white chocolate morsels in there. And then I have a cinnamon stick.
Ooh,
we're gonna
fancy.
stir it. Of course, whipped cream. And the fall glitter.
Oh, wow, dang.
Okay, I'm gonna sip it from the table first. Mmm, that's so good!
Oh man, that's like an apple pie but in liquid form. Oh god.
Yeah. Isn't that so good?
I didn't believe in the dried apples, but that's so good.
Gimme. This is bomb, huh?
That's good,
No
yeah.
pun intended.
I feel like this should be on our holiday menu. Who isn't this going to impress?
On to the next one. Last but certainly not least, if not probably the most, we have the New Year's themed Cocoa Bomb. What am I doing with my hands? I don't know. I have super dark chocolate here. I've already melted it. Brush it up along the sides. For the next 3, I'm going to start sprinkling in my edible gold stars in, and it'll have it as the top. This one needs to be very sparkly because when I think of New Year's, I think of going all out. All right, now I'm gonna drizzle this chocolate over the stars. So now that I have some chocolate in there, I'm gonna slowly brush it up. Careful to not pick up any of the stars, but more like just brush the chocolate over them. Hopefully we still see some stars after it sets. Also, if worse comes to worse, we could just redecorate it. No problemo. I took out all the chocolates from the mold. The tops came out beautifully. I'm very pleased with them. Now we're just gonna go ahead and build these Cocoa Bombs. I have dark chocolate hot cocoa powder here, and I was gonna have different sprinkles for the inside, but someone stole them off my front porch. If you stole my sprinkles off my front porch, you're on the naughty list. I'm gonna add these gold star sprinkles from earlier. Gonna add some marshmallows. Now we're going hard here. Chocolate liqueurs. For one of them, I will do a fancy macaron. Cute. Wow, this is so fancy. We lost one. It melted while I was setting up the camera, and now we'll never know its true potential. Oh God, it's cracking. We did it! We got it! It is on! 2 lovely Cocoa Bombs are completed. RIP to our friend that didn't make it. Babe, one more Cocoa Bomb! He ran down very quickly. He's very excited for this last one.
Super excited.
Okay, ready? You don't even know what's in here yet.
Ooh, whoa, my God.
Oh no, you can't see. Ah!
Shut up. Oh my, I thought it was a huge marshmallow. Is that a macaron?
It's a macaron! I'm gonna mix it up real quick.
Ooh, I'm seeing a lot of chocolate in there.
You know what? This is probably gonna melt. Is it hot? It's good?
Yeah, that's so good.
Of course, whipped cream. Let's add a few more glittery stars. And of course, we need...
Ooh, wow, that is gorgeous.
Ta-da! Shall we try?
Yes.
Mmm.
You got a little some.
You wanna try?
Oh, that's so good. Really warms the soul.
Okay, why don't you just take that over there? You can enjoy that. Careful, okay, it's dripping. All right, guys, I would call that a success overall. I feel like we made 3 beautiful cocoa bombs. I totally see the hype around cocoa bombs now. They're just so pretty and it's fun to make. Of the ones we made today, I would say that the butterscotch cider one was my favorite. It was just super unique, just made me love cider even more. Let me know in the comments below what food I should make next, and if you end up making any cocoa bombs, make sure to tag me on Instagram. Happy holidays! Bye!
Why? What are you saying?
Hey, it's Betsy.
I'm Jasmine.
I'm Katie.
Today, I will be competing against my coworkers
To see who can create the best original dish
Using Thanksgiving leftovers.
in under 60 minutes.
The leftovers include turkey,
Mashed potatoes,
gravy,
cranberry sauce,
stuffing,
roasted vegetables,
green beans.
and pumpkin pie. We're also allowed to add whatever additional ingredients we want.
And then our coworker Kelly will judge our dishes based on
How many of the leftovers we use,
If we finish within the 60-minute time frame,
our dishes presentation.
and finally taste.
I'm definitely very nervous.
You know, I'm a very competitive person. I have a lot of competitive energy, but my confidence level is low.
I feel like I have a delicious plan, but I'm scared of Betsy and Jasmine for sure. They're fierce competitors.
Today, I am going to be making a Thanksgiving leftovers charcuterie board. I'm gonna have 4 homemade components: a pumpkin pie truffle, prosciutto wrapped stuffing bites, a roasted veggie dip, then some crostinis with some smoked salmon, topped with some fancy piped mashed potatoes, garnished with a little bit of fresh dill. I can get that done in 60 minutes, right?
3, 2, 1, go.
I'm gonna start by making pumpkin pie truffles. First things first, we are going to put this slice of pumpkin pie into this dish here, and we're gonna mash it up with a fork. Okay, that looks good. I'm gonna loosely start to create some balls. I love dessert, so I knew that I had to have at least one sweet thing on the platter. I'm moving on to our prosciutto wrapped stuffing bites. I am now gonna take our leftover stuffing and form it into more balls. Next, I'm going to take our beautiful prosciutto and wrap it around the outside, trying to make this look as graceful as possible, which is why we have toothpicks to kind of help secure it on there. Wow, that looks good. I'm intimidated. I think I'm more intimidated by Katie and Jasmine than I am Kelly. Please be good. We are now gonna move on to our roasted veggie dip. We're gonna place our roasted veggies into a food processor along with some cream cheese, because cream cheese makes everything better. And now I'm gonna add in 2 garlic cloves. I'm gonna scrape down the sides here a little bit, little pepper, and a little salt. And I'm also gonna add in a little bit of olive oil to loosen it up a little bit. Oh, there we go. We're getting there. It does smell good, but does a good smell mean good taste? It could use some onion or some chives, so I'll put in a few. Our our dip is done.
You have 40 minutes remaining.
Oh, okay. So I've got some crackers here. I'm now going to top them off with some smoked salmon. So this smoked salmon is very thick. I feel like it's very hard for me to like make it look pretty, but fear not, we are going to actually top the smoked salmon with our mashed potatoes. I'm gonna transfer our mashed potatoes to a piping bag fitted with a piping tip, and we're gonna pipe them on top. Oh gosh, it's like spaghetti. I don't have a plan B. Oh gosh. I now have a new piping tip that is a slightly more open. Here we go. Oh, a little better for sure. That's fine. Come on. Like there's pieces of potato getting stuck in the piping tip. I think I'm gonna need a plan C. Plan C! Same piping tip. This time, however, we added some milk to our mashed potatoes to help loosen them up a little bit. All right, let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. Okay, guys, this is much better. A little runny, but I'll take it. We did it. Now I'm gonna place some fresh dill on top. And voila, our smoked salmon mashed potato crackers are finished. We are on our last step. We are going to now coat our pumpkin pie pops into some melted dark chocolate. I also have some freshly ground graham crackers to top them off. Boop. Our chocolate pumpkin pie pops are done. One of the reasons why I chose a charcuterie board is because you kind of go through all of these steps to make a Thanksgiving feast. So I really wanted to kind of deconstruct that and make it kind of easier, approachable, and shareable. So by looking at my charcuterie board, I think I've included every single Thanksgiving leftover. We have our roasted veggies, our mashed potatoes, green beans, cranberry sauce, turkey, stuffing, pumpkin pie, and we even have our gravy. One thing's for sure, this charcuterie board has something for everyone. All right, I'm done.
You have 1 minute and 31 seconds.
Oh, yes! Yeah!
I'm gonna use all the ingredients to make a croquette flight. I'll start with the vegetable appetizer croquette, move to the turkey entree croquette, and then finally a dessert croquette with the pumpkin pie. I went with the croquette flight because I'm also a producer on Bring Me, and our biggest hits are always the flights. Never made a croquette before, so we're off to a great start.
Your time starts now.
Okay. Start with some oil. Got some chopped green beans. Gonna go ahead and throw the roasted vegetables in there as well. And I'm adding these onions. I'm just gonna stir fry these vegetables for a little bit until they're heated through. All right, they're almost heated through, so I'm gonna sprinkle a bit of garlic salt. Don't want Kelly eating anything unseasoned. Some pepper. Oh, I'm still shaking. I'm nervous. You know the feeling of when you make something very special and then you give it to someone and they don't like it? There's always that paranoia. Okay, this looks pretty good. I'm gonna turn off the heat. We're gonna transfer these to our bowl with mashed potatoes, which are leftovers. Mix that up. For the sake of more flavor, I'm just gonna add a splash of gravy. It's so chunky. This looks good, so I'm gonna move on to dredging. I'm flouring my hands to prevent it from sticking, so I can roll this into a nice ball shape or a flattened oval. Dip it in the flour. No, why did I do that? I should have made the wet batter first. Okay, I'm so dumb. So I'm gonna add about like a tablespoon of Kewpie. Yes, Kewpie is superior. It is a little sweeter, a little tangier. Gonna add some water. Let's dip that in there. You said presentation matters, huh? Asking for a friend. Asking for Katie. Haha, just kidding. Okay, so now that it is in this flat oval shape, I'm gonna put it into the air fryer and then gonna spray it. Okay, that's gonna go for 8 minutes. So while that's going, we can make our next croquette. Why? What are you saying? Okay, we have a working air fryer now. I'm gonna let that go for 8 minutes and I'll flip it halfway through, but for now, let's move on to the entree turkey croquette. I have some olive oil heated up here, and we're gonna start by caramelizing our onions. How much time do I got left?
You have 40 minutes.
I think we're on a good track. I'm probably gonna let them caramelize until they're just before medium brown. Okay, not bad. I'm just gonna stop caramelizing now. I'm gonna remove the extra oil. You know what? Fried onions are delicious, so this will be a treat. So I'm gonna mix stuffing. It's extremely dry. Just a little bit of gravy. Some garlic salt and some black pepper. I got the mashed potato mixture that I made from earlier. Just gonna add it in here because it is extremely dry and it needs to hold together. Okay, this looks good. Let's get to dredging. Throw it into the air fryer and move on to the next one.
You have 20 minutes left.
Oh, we got, what? Okay, we gotta move on to the next one, like now. Okay, we're on our last croquette. I'm doing the dessert croquette using pumpkin pie. I'm gonna first carve out some filling. The crust on the bottom is too wet, so I am going to take the side of the crust and crumble it in here. This doesn't look like enough, so I might have to use the wet crust anyway. All right, I'm just gonna throw it all in. It all tastes the same in the end, you know? Okay, it's getting to the point in the competition where I'm like, I have so little time and I need to do everything 10 minutes ago. That doesn't look like enough. I'm just gonna throw a little more in. I have used the pumpkin pie leftovers. Let's add in the marshmallows. Just gonna fold that together. When it's really wet, it doesn't hold its shape. So I'm gonna add some cornstarch as a thickener. I'm gonna add a little bit more marshmallows. I need it to stay together while it's cooking because if it melts all together into the air fryer, I'm out. Okay, I'm gonna add the granola. Oh, it's kind of thick. All right, whatever. We don't have time to crush it. So let's get to dredging. We're not gonna use the same egg as last time because that had mayo. I'm gonna add a splash of milk though. Okay, that looks good.
15 minutes.
Ah! So much pressure. This is a pretty good shape. I'm actually really surprised it's holding it together. Oh my gosh. These granolas are humongous. The pie crust is sticking much better than the granola, but I actually think this might work okay. The one thing is now the size is much bigger than the other croquettes, but a big dessert is good, I think. And everyone has a second stomach for dessert. Okay, 8 minutes on the clock. I'm shaking. My clock is running down, but when that comes out, we're just gonna go ahead and plate it. Everything is plated and I'm done.
You have 5 minutes and 21 seconds left.
Yes! Okay, finished in time. I used all the ingredients and I finished within 60 minutes. It's hard to say how confident I am because I haven't seen Betsy and Katie's dish, but I would say I'm walking out feeling better than I did walking in. I think it looks pretty decent, but now it's up to Kelly to decide whether or not she likes it and if it looks good enough.
So here's my plan. I'm gonna be using everything but the green beans to make a delicious trio of raviolis. I'm not using green beans because I don't like them and I forgot that they were there. So they weren't in my plan.
Your time starts now.
Okay. Okay, so right now I'm gonna be making my ravioli dough first. And this is just some double O flour. So I'm gonna add my eggs into my well of flour. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil. And then I'll just take a fork and beat these eggs in the center, and we don't want our well to break. And my wall's broke. My wall's broke, and it's fine. You know, this happens. I'm just gonna kind of gently pull this in on itself here. So I'm gonna bring this now together with my hands, and then I am gonna let the machine do the work for me because I have too much stuff to do. So I'm gonna put this in my mixer with a dough hook. All right, I'm gonna let this go for 5 minutes, or at least till it's nice and smooth, and when you press the dough, it springs back. It's gonna walk away. All right, our dough looks done. So I'm just gonna wrap this in plastic wrap and I'm gonna let this rest for about 20 to 25 minutes while I make the fillings. So my first filling is kind of like the whole shebang a little bit. I'm gonna add some of that leftover turkey I've shredded it so that it's gonna combine really nicely and you get a little turkey in every bite. I'm gonna add some cranberry, which could be a mistake. I've never tried this before, but I think the tartness is gonna go really well in here. And then I'm gonna add some fresh thyme. I will do a little bit of Gruyere cheese. I'm gonna add 1 egg. This is gonna help bind all of this together. And then I'm just gonna start mixing this together. I don't know, dare I add more cranberry? Does Kelly hate cranberry? I'm gonna bank on she loves it, and we're just gonna add a little bit more. Okay, my turkey stuffing filling is done, and I am gonna move on to my cheesy potato filling. This next filling, I'm kind of basing off like a pierogi filling. They're usually like a cheese potato filling, so that's what I'm trying to go for here. I'm gonna add a little bit of gravy, because like, you know, mashed potatoes and gravy. So I'm gonna add in some Parmesan, because I like a sharper cheese, and then some cheddar, which is just kind of my classic cheesy potato. Oh, I like it. I'm gonna add a little pepper. All right, these are looking nice, some smooth mashed potatoes. So these are done. I'm gonna move on to my last one, which is a sweet filling. This next filling is a pumpkin filling with some roasted veggies. What I'm gonna do is take some of our leftover pumpkin pie. I'm just gonna use the filling. We're gonna put this into a food processor. So I'm gonna try to dull that sweetness by adding some of these roasted carrots and sweet potatoes. And then I'm gonna add some goat cheese. It'll help bind this together and kind of cut through all that sweetness. And then I'm gonna add in some fresh nutmeg because it just smells like the holidays and it just has a lot of flavor. And then we'll add a little bit of salt and some pepper. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of olive oil to help loosen it up. I'm gonna actually add a little bit of water. The olive oil doesn't seem to be enough and I don't wanna like alter the taste too much. Yeah, okay. That's looking good. It smells like pumpkin pie, but let's see if it still tastes like pumpkin pie. I think that's good. All right, well, I think I'm done with my filling, so now I just have to assemble my raviolis. How much time do I have left?
You have 32 minutes left.
We gotta get going, we gotta go. So I have my ravioli dough here. I am gonna cut this guy into quarters. I don't wanna be working with too much dough at once. For the guys I'm not using right now, I'm gonna cover in plastic so they don't dry out. And I probably don't need all that dough, but I made backup because, you know, mistakes. So for this first section of dough, I'm just gonna flatten it out. I'm not gonna put any flour on this dough because it's pretty dry dough already. I will have her sprinkle a little onto my pasta roller and we'll get it going. And we're just gonna put our pasta through this machine. And then I'm gonna fold it like that and it helps get a nice shape to it. And we're gonna run it through a few times. And you can just see it's getting longer and longer every time we do it. We're gonna stop there. And I am gonna put some plastic over that guy so he doesn't dry out. I'm gonna repeat those steps one more time. All right, I'm gonna quickly assemble my ravioli. So I have my second sheet here and I'm gonna gently brush that with water. I don't wanna get it soaking or anything like that, but this is gonna help us seal it later. Usually you'd make a smaller ravioli and you fold this in half, but I'm making giant ones. So first I'll put on my pumpkin pie filling. Next, I'm gonna put down some stuffing. And last, I'm gonna add my cheesy potato. Okay, so before my water dries, I'm gonna place this other sheet of pasta over it. You wanna squeeze all around the base of your ravioli, trying to get out that air. Because if you leave air, it has a chance of opening up while it's cooking, and you don't want that. I'm gonna cut this middle guy out first. So I'm gonna use a pasta cutter and I am gonna do a square for him.
20-minute warning.
Okay, 20 minutes, that's fine, that's fine. The sauce is gonna be fast. Let's do a triangle for this guy, which I'm just gonna go for it. And then for our last one, feels like it's like grade school or something because there's all these really silly shapes. Great, huge. I'm gonna go get some boiling water and we're gonna make our sauce and we're almost ready for plating. So I've got my raviolis cooking in boiling water. That's gonna happen real fast. So I'm gonna start to make our sauce. I am gonna do a brown butter sage sauce. I'm gonna cut the butter up into pieces. This way our butter just cooks more evenly. So you wanna be constantly stirring the butter and you can't really not pay attention because it can go from being brown to burned very quickly. So while this is going, I'm gonna add in some walnuts for texture and flavor. And then I'm gonna add some sage. And these are all gonna toast and fry in the butter and just give us deliciousness. All right, so I'm adding some salt. You can smell that sage. And now you can see we're getting those brown bits when you drag the spoon. You can kind of see those in there. All right, our pasta is ready to go. None of them broke apart, so that's good. And a little pasta water in this is okay. These are giant. I think I should do making it big with Alvin. These are so big. We're just gonna toss these in the sauce gently. Just wanna coat that. And now we're gonna plate these guys.
10-minute warning.
Okay. If I can't plate this in 10 minutes, I should be fired. And then I'm just gonna pour some of these sauce over the top here. I'm gonna add a little bit of crushed pepper on top and some Parmesan. Stop the time.
All right, you finished your dish with 7 minutes and 34 seconds.
Woo! Do I win? I used all but one ingredient. I think it actually looks pretty great. And now the only thing left to do is have Kelly judge it. Hopefully not harshly.
Hey, I'm Kelly and I'm the lead culinary producer here at Tasty, and I'm gonna judge each of these 3 dishes. Before I try anything, we have a few points to calculate. So based off the number of leftovers they used, Betsy gets a 7 out of 7, Jasmine gets a 7 out of 7, and Katie gets a 6.5 out of 7 because she forgot about the green beans. So since they all finished cooking within the 60 minutes, they'll each get 3 more points. So now for presentation. On a scale of 1 to 3, I'm gonna give Betsy a 3 because this is insane, Jasmine a 2, and Katie a 3. There's nothing wrong with Jasmine's, but I just think Katie and Betsy really blew it out of the park. Jasmine's is beautiful, but I think it could have been displayed a little bit different. So last up is the taste test, the most important part. I'm gonna be ranking them 1 out of 3, 3 being my favorite. So Betsy's, I just think it is so beautiful. I can't wait to try everything. She did a really good job visually. I know Betsy was worried about that dip, but it is incredible. All right, let's try Jasmine's. So a little secret, I hate cranberry sauce. It's my least favorite part of Thanksgiving. Wow, you can see the marshmallow like melting in there. It tastes incredible. This was a really ingenious idea. This is the cheese and potato one. All right, this is the turkey one that she put extra cranberry sauce in. So let's see. The cranberry sauce actually balances out the saltiness of the rest of the dish. It's really good. Now that I've tried all 3, I think I know which one's my favorite, so let's go tell them. All right, ladies, you did a great job. Everything tasted amazing, but there can only be one winner. The winner is Katie! I loved yours because I felt like you took it a step further. You browned butter, you made the sage super crispy, and you made pasta. Like, I wouldn't have even tried to attempt that in 60 minutes. I was a little skeptical about that cranberry sauce.
Wait, do you not like cranberry?
I hate cranberry. But it actually went really well together.
I'm so excited I won. I never win anything, but this was so much fun. Thank you guys for doing this with me, and thank you, Kelly, for being our judge. Let us know if there's any other leftover challenges you guys want us to try, and until next time, bye guys. Bye.
Okay, is that too big of a slice? No. Hey guys, it's me, Jasmine, and today I'm gonna be challenged to recreate a vacation through food. I've been receiving letters from people who've had to cancel their vacations because of COVID, so I am going to help them live out their vacation through an authentic recipe given to me by a local so they can at least go on a taste bud trip. The first postcard comes from Tiffany, who had to cancel her trip to Greece.
Dear Jasmine, I was supposed to go to Greece this summer for a wedding. I was really looking forward to eating all the authentic Greek food my body could handle, and I absolutely love desserts. Can you show me how to make an authentic Greek dessert?
Yes, I can. Greek cuisine often uses oregano, dill, mint, bay leaves, and a few others, but I want Tiffany to have the most authentic taste bud trip possible. So I am enlisting the help of Greek local Madam Ginger, who knows the ins and outs of Greek cuisine.
Hey Jasmine, Madam Ginger here, and I'm really happy to help. So everyone thinks that in Greece we only eat souvlaki or moussaka. Yes, we do eat those and we really love them, but every local would know how special and traditional orange phyllo pie is. In Greece we call it portokalopita. That's why today I'm giving you my recipe for this delicious Greek dessert. You really need to try it.
I've never made orange pie before, I've never even heard of it, and I think I've got my work cut out for me today. Let's do this. So one of the star ingredients in this cake is phyllo dough. So using our hands, we're just gonna rip our phyllo dough into uneven pieces, but it's gonna be important that we separate the layers because we don't want them to dry in chunks. It could be as uneven as you like because we're gonna crush them up anyway, so no big deal. I do this when it's still frozen so it's easier to work with. Once it starts to defrost, you can get some extra moisture in there, which makes it harder to work with. You just wanna fluff them up because you don't want them to stick together. Make sure to aerate them pretty nicely and don't forget to separate the layers. This is kind of therapeutic. I am quite enjoying this. So once you've stripped them into these uneven pieces, go ahead and aerate them again and spread them out evenly onto the pan. Once you have something that looks like this, we're gonna bake them in the oven for about 20 minutes until they're lightly toasted and hardened. So the next step is to whip the eggs and sugar together until they're light colored and fluffy. I feel like recipes are sometimes so specific yet oddly so vague. Like, what does light colors mean? What does fluffy mean? Is that soft or is that thick? I'm not really sure. So we're gonna give Kelly a call. Kelly is our wonderful culinary developer on Tasty, and she's gonna give us a quick egg whipping 101. Hey Kelly!
Hi Jasmine!
I need some help.
Okay.
I was wondering if you could give us a quick egg whipping 101. I am looking at the recipe and it says to whip the eggs until they're light and fluffy. What does that mean? Are there do's and don'ts? What should I be looking for?
First off, are your eggs room temperature?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. What you want to do is put your eggs and sugar in a bowl and whip them with a hand mixer or a stand mixer over a medium-high speed until they've like doubled or tripled in volume. Their color will change from like a darker yellow to a pale yellow color, and they'll be thick, like not like a mayonnaise, but maybe like in between a sour cream and a mayonnaise consistency. Don't over whip it because then you can't go back. And also, you'll know it's done when you pick up your whisk and some of it falls down. And if it sits on top of the other batter in the bowl and creates ribbons, that's when you know it looks perfect.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much. You're a lifesaver.
You're welcome. I can't wait to see the finished product.
Bye! Now that we've gotten our lesson from Kelly, I feel pretty prepared. Got our room temp eggs here. Gonna add them all in. And now we're gonna whip them until they're light and fluffy. So after about 5 minutes of mixing, we now have these gorgeous ribbons that don't sink in immediately. And now we're gonna add in our sunflower oil, baking powder, vanilla extract. So for the zest, you only want this outer layer of the orange. The white spongy part in the middle over here, that is called the pith, and that's very bitter. So if you start zesting the pith and including it in the cake, you might get some bitterness to it. So the zest we're adding in is from unwaxed oranges, and what unwaxed oranges means is organic. And then we're gonna add in our full-fat Greek yogurt. I'm gonna mix this in a little bit before we use our mixer again to mix it up until it's nice and smooth. We're gonna grab our phyllo dough that we dehydrated earlier, and we're just gonna crush it up into small pieces and then fold it into our mixture. I am taking my greased baking dish and I'm just going to add it in there. Oh my God, it smells like butter, orange, and vanilla. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to try this. I'm just gonna spread it so that it's nice and even in the baking dish. Oh, it smells heavenly. I'm so excited to put this in my body. Okay, into the oven it goes. So while the orange pie is baking in the oven, let's go ahead and make our syrup. We're just gonna add in our orange juice, freshly squeezed, our water, juice from 1 lemon, an orange peel, and our sugar. Let's give that a good stir. And we're just gonna let this simmer for about 10 to 12 minutes until the sugar dissolves and the syrup thickens. The orange pie is finished, so we're gonna poke these holes into the pie so that it can absorb the syrup when we pour it in afterwards. So after you've poked your holes into the orange pie, we're gonna slowly ladle our syrup over the cake until it slowly and fully absorbs all of it. I've let the pie cool for about an hour. It's still warm, and that's why I wanna cut it now, because I do still want it when it's nice and fresh. You can see that it already absorbed all the syrup. Okay, is that too big of a slice? No. Oh my gosh, it looks so moist. Sorry if you hate that word. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. Let's try it. Cheers. That might be one of my most favorite things I've ever made. That is so good. The zest that we added makes the pie taste so fresh. The phyllo dough inside is so good. It's almost custardy, and you can actually feel the phyllo dough inside, and it adds different layers within the pie to create a different texture. This is so good. Tiffany, you're gonna be so happy. Hey guys, it's Jasmine, and today I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make the cutest little animal bows. I have a bunch of different designs for you and a variety of fillings, both sweet and savory, so you can mix and match your favorites. Let's get started. This one is the pig bao with the chocolate truffle filling, and we're gonna start by making our dough. We're just gonna throw everything in, our milk, our yeast, sugar, and flour. I'm using all-purpose flour here, but if you have bread flour, that's even better. Before we use the dough hook to mix it up, I like to first combine it together. Once you get a solid dough that looks sort of like this, we can go ahead and grab our stand mixer. I'm attaching my dough hook and I'm gonna turn it to medium-high speed. After 10 minutes, the dough should look like this. You can just take it off your dough hook. It should be nice and soft and baby butt smooth and uninterrupted like this. Let's go ahead and place it back into the mixing bowl, cover it with a wet towel. We're just gonna let it sit for an hour. I have my dough here, just gonna pick a small part of it off, about 2 tablespoons of dough-ish. Gonna roll it into a ball and then into a log. Hold the outer end inwards like this and then roll it out again. And we're gonna repeat that 2 or 3 times and you'll notice that it gets even smoother than it was before. And it was already pretty freaking smooth. And then the last time, we can just start rolling it into a ball. And once you do this for a little bit, you'll get like this ultra smooth ball. I like to press it down onto my palms. It doesn't need to be like a perfect circle quite yet. Put the not pretty side up. We have a chocolate truffle and we're just gonna press it in. You're just gonna let the motion take you and then you're gonna pinch it closed. And then you can see that it's like not very pretty over here. So we're just gonna roll it again and then make sure your nails aren't facing into the ball because then you can scratch it. This does require some patience. So if you feel like you make it and it's really ugly, happened to me too, but it doesn't matter. It's all about having fun in the kitchen. Ta-da! Time for the fun part. It's time to decorate our pig and let's make its features. I'm adding a little bit of pink food dye to a small piece of dough. If you don't want to use food dye, you can use other natural substitutes like beet juice, beet extract, hibiscus powder. I use the same method for getting the food dye incorporated, just continuously rolling it into a log and folding the outer ends in, and it should look something like this. I'm gonna pull off a little more dough. This is just for the pig's eyes. So we want to put a little bit of a black food coloring on it. Again, we're just gonna roll it out until it's nice and uniform in color. So now we can really get to work. I like to decorate my baos one at a time. If you make all the features beforehand, you increase the chances of all the little features drying out and it makes it hard to stick and then they can crack while steaming. So I suggest doing it one by one. Before I start creating all the features, I like to apply a little bit of water onto the surface of the bao where I'll be sticking the features on. 2 black dots for the eyes. You can make all your features different than I am. Design it how you'd like and make it your own. Have fun with this. Once you have all its features on, you can take a chopstick and I like to poke a hole directly into the nose. You might have to do this a couple times because sometimes the dough does bounce back depending on what kind of flour you're using. Especially common with all-purpose. And for the ears, because pig ears do fold in a little bit, I take the chopstick and I just press it in like this and then I squeeze it together. And we got a little piggy. Ta-da! The piggy buns have been resting for about 30 minutes now and I'm really excited to steam them. I don't have a bamboo steamer, so just go into your kitchen, find the biggest pot you can find, and then you're gonna put a bowl in the bottom, add some water to the bowl for weight, and then water to the pot. So now you can put your plate on top of the bowl, and then we're just going to place our little baby piggy buns into the pot. Don't put them too close to each other because they do tend to expand and spread out into like an oval shape. And let's get to steaming. I'm just gonna put it on medium heat and steam it for about 9 minutes. If you're worried about water droplets from the lid dripping onto your buns, you can put a towel in between the lid and the pot and fold the corners onto the top of the lid. I personally haven't had an issue with the water droplets, so I don't need to do that today. They're looking so cute and I'm so excited to see them. They're so cute. How can we eat these? It's already dripping everywhere. It looks so chocolatey. Cheers. I mean, if you like chocolate, I think you're in for a good treat. So if you don't want to add any fillings to your buns, this is where you would stop. You have this perfectly round dough baby here and you can begin to decorate your panda. But if you want to add the filling, we are doing red bean for the panda. So from here, you'll have this round ball. Let's just press it down like this. Add a spoonful of red bean. The red bean paste is quite thick, especially after you refrigerate it. And then we can put it in there just like we did with the truffle and seal it up. I'm going to wet the surface of the bao again. We're about ready to decorate, so let's put our little dough baby onto the parchment square. And now for the panda features, we're gonna make 2 large ears with the black dough, 2 black ovals for the eye patches, and of course, the adorable little panda nose. And there's your finished panda. So I'm gonna let these rest again for 30 minutes and then we can pop them into the steamer. And before you know it, they're gonna be done. Look at that. Oh, it looks so good. Let's give it a try. Red bean is so good. Kind of nutty, almost similar to sweet potato. I love it. This one is the hedgehog one. This one's my favorite. It's so cute, although it's a little bit harder, I must say. I have my dough prepared. This is the white dough, the brown dough, and some black dough. So have your white dough next to you pressed down. I'm gonna press this down to be much larger than the white one because this is going to wrap around the white one. Doesn't need to be perfect, totally fine if it looks like this, no problem. Once you have your taro scoop, we're gonna wanna wrap it around 3/4 of the way. And to make the taro paste, I just added some freshly steamed taro, mixed in some sugar and some butter, and combined it until it was nice and smooth like this. And then I put it into the fridge to chill for a little bit because it's just a little easier to work with when it's colder and thicker. So you can leave a little bit of it exposed like this. And then we're gonna wanna round out the bottom because that's the part that we're gonna see. And now I'm just gonna drape it over. Because we want the edges to stick, we're gonna add a little bit of water around the edge. If you're not feeling the hedgehog, you can kind of see from here how you could go with a lion instead. If your edges are a bit unsmooth, you can apply some water. And once you get it to a place where you like it, we are gonna get to making the features. 2 dots for the eyes, a larger dot for the nose, and then 2 for the ears, 2 smaller ones for the little arms, and then 2 medium-sized ones for its little feet. Now that the front of the hedgehog is done, we're gonna work on the back side. So get your kitchen scissors. I find this part the easiest when I'm holding it. And we're just gonna cut its little spikes, make your way around, and we're just gonna make sure we get in some window spacing. And it's just gonna look like this. We're gonna let these guys rest for 30 minutes and then we can steam them for 9 minutes. You probably know the drill by now. Once those 9 minutes are done, we're gonna let them cool down again before we break it open. This is what it looks like on the inside with the taro paste. It looks really good. I wanna try this. Cheers! Taro buns are my favorite. Also, aren't they so cute? This one is the cat-shaped bao with pork filling. Once you've gotten your dough into this position, you can go ahead and put in your pork filling. Made with ground pork, finely chopped cabbage, soy sauce, sesame oil, green onion, salt, and pepper. And just mix it until it's well combined. We don't need to do the pleating. As long as it's sealed up, it's totally fine. And it should look something like that. Put it back down onto the counter, and then we can smooth out the bottom, make sure it is nice and sealed. If it's not sealed, then when you steam it, all the juices are going to come out. Put it onto the parchment square and let's begin decorating. For the cat, we'll need some black dough for the eyes, nose, whiskers, 2 ears. It's so cute. I feel so aggressive. We're gonna steam the buns for 10 minutes. When I'm working with pork, I like to give it an extra minute just to make sure it's fully cooked through. Once the buns are done steaming and you've let them rest for another 5 minutes or so, we can finally eat them. I love that the cabbage in the filling keeps it nice and moist. It's a very simple pork filling that you can also use in dumplings, but you can also spice this up and make it your own. This one is the cow-shaped bao with veggie filling. If you want to make it completely vegan, you can sub the milk in the dough with water. So let's grab our white dough and we are going to fill it with our veggie filling. To make the veggie filling, I added in some finely chopped cabbage, some diced shiitake mushrooms, some green onion, some minced ginger, some soy sauce, sesame oil, and black pepper, and mixed it all until it was well combined. You'll notice that there is no egg added as a binder, so it is a bit crumbly, but don't worry, it's fine. It's still absolutely delicious. And let's just seal it up. Just make sure that it's airtight and try to avoid air bubbles if you can. Once it's all nice and sealed, you can throw it upside down onto the counter, roll it out nice and thin. And for the cow, I like to work with the dough while it's on my hand. It's much easier to design that way. And it's time to decorate our cow.
Let's make our 2 horns with the black dough. Add the 2 ears. I'm shaping them into teardrops. Some pink dough for the nose, and back to the black dough for the eyes and the cow spots.
And then we're gonna poke in the holes in the nose. And there you have the cow! Oh my God, I love these. So adorable. Once you've let your cows rest for 30 minutes, we can go ahead and do our final steam of the day. I am ready. Let them steam for 9 minutes and let them rest for another 5 with the heat off. And then they are done. Look at that, they're so cute. And look at the filling on the inside. Let's give this a try. They're so rich, and I like the veggie filling because it's very nice and moist. If you're not a fan of mushrooms, you can swap it out with your favorite vegetables. All right guys, those are all the baos I have for today. I hope you enjoyed making them with me, and if you end up making any of these baos, make sure to take a picture and tag me on Instagram so I can see.
Every year during the Mid-Autumn Festival, my family gathers around the table to indulge in mooncakes. Mooncakes are like works of art. One of the most popular types of mooncakes is the one with the salted egg yolk in the middle, covered with a sweet lotus paste and encased in a golden dough, then finally molded with the most intricate and beautiful designs. We'd cut them into quarters and we'd bet on which slice would have the most yolk, and then we'd fight for it. They're rich, sweet, savory, and made with lots of hard work and love. I even remember as a small girl thinking that they were too beautiful to eat. One year my mom had given me a mooncake to bring to school to share with my friends. I remember thinking that I would eat it alone during recess because I was too scared to share my culture. I didn't want to share these traditions that others would find strange. But as I sneakily took it out of my backpack, my friend turned to me excitedly and told me it was the prettiest thing they had ever seen. She wanted to try it. My face lit up and we shared the mooncake, and I began to tell her all about the legend of Chang'e, the Chinese goddess of the moon.
Now maybe you've never seen mooncakes before. Maybe you're remembering that the first time you learned about mooncakes was when you were sitting in front of the TV watching Wendy Wu, Homecoming Warrior on Disney Channel. Either way, you're about to see how to make these beautiful mooncakes and how they came to be an iconic part of the Mid-Autumn Festival from the famous ancient Chinese myth. The legend goes that a Chinese archer named Ho-Yi shot down 9 suns from the sky, leaving just one, saving the world from being scorched. And after his courageous act, he was given an elixir of immortality from heaven. Ho-Yi's wife Chang'e drank the elixir, which caused her to become so light, she floated all the way to the moon with nothing but her rabbit companion. Some iterations of the story say that Chang'e drank the elixir as an attempt to keep it away from Ho-Yi's wicked apprentice while Ho-Yi was out hunting. Ho-Yi began to prepare a feast each year on the day when the moon was at its fullest in honor of his wife who he missed, hoping to see her shadow on the moon, and this feast included mooncakes, a traditional treat eaten during the Mid-Autumn Festival even till this day. But not everyone shared mooncakes as a treat of love and admiration. It was once reported that the treats became popular during the Yuan dynasty, when the cakes were reportedly used as paywall, essentially a vessel to deliver secret notes to assist Han Chinese in overthrowing the Mongolian rulers of the time. The Mid-Autumn Festival is traditionally celebrated on the 15th day of the 8th month, which is supposedly the night the moon is at its fullest and brightest. Each country celebrates in their own special ways. In Vietnam, the festival is considered Children's Day, with celebrations including paper lantern fairs and lion dance parades.
In southern China, many people eat autumn fruits like pomelos and starfruit, as well as lighting lanterns. Certain villages in Hong Kong keep up a tradition of fire dragon dancing throughout narrow alleys. In South Korea, the festival lasts 3 days and is used as a time to sweep ancestors' tombs and wear traditional garb. In Japan, people eat grilled sticky rice balls while partaking in moon viewings, and in Taiwan, people have barbecues and admire the moon. Nowadays, you'll see families exchanging mooncakes of all sorts of flavors. The traditional lotus seed paste with salted egg yolk, red bean, nuts, custard, green tea, chocolate, and many more. Families gather and have a feast with lots of food, fruits, and desserts. And while everyone has different ways of celebrating Mid-Autumn Festival, family is always at the center. The festival is filled with joy and laughter, sharing special traditions, admiring the moon, and of course sharing mooncakes. And while some people may find mooncakes strange or unappetizing, they're always going to be special to me. It was once a food I was too embarrassed to share because I was ashamed of my culture. I was ashamed of myself. But not anymore. I love being able to share mooncakes with my friends and family and telling them about old Chinese legends and the traditions that come with it. I love that mooncakes remind me to be proud of my heritage. And I love that mooncakes are little beautiful works of art that you share with your friends and family you love so much, the most special people in your life. And I hope you get to enjoy some mooncakes this year. Jasmine, and today we're gonna be making an epic cheesy volcano fried rice. It's absolutely delicious, packed with flavor. It's savory, it's spicy, slightly sweet, and there's bacon, garlic, and cheese. So we can't go wrong with this dish. I've already prepped all the ingredients, so let's start cooking. We're gonna start by making the fried rice. I'm adding some chopped bacon to my pan over medium heat, and we're gonna cook it until it's about halfway done. We're gonna let the bacon fat render. Oh, it smells so good already. We can add in our garlic and our green onions. Gotta get every last bit. We're just gonna let that cook for a couple of minutes so the garlic and the green onions can soak in the flavor of the bacon. It smells so good, I just can't focus. I can't focus when I can't talk and smell this at the same time. Once it looks something like this, we can go ahead and make some space in the middle and throw in our chopped kimchi. Now you can drain your kimchi if you'd like, but because I'm aggressively in love with the intense flavor of condensed kimchi juice, I will not be draining it. So we're gonna cook down the kimchi until it dries up a little bit and turns from this vibrant dark red to a little bit of a reddish brown. We wanna make sure that it's well reduced. Otherwise, once we add in the rice and the sauce, it's just gonna be one soggy, wet mess. Also, if you're not a huge kimchi fan, you can reduce the amount of kimchi in here or even just take it out completely. But if you haven't tried cooked kimchi, I really do recommend that you try it because it tastes so different from raw kimchi. Free facial. So once your kimchi looks something like this, we're ready to add the sauce. And to make the sauce, we're just going to add in 2 tablespoons of gochujang, which is Korean red pepper paste, 2 tablespoons of mirin, which is sweet rice wine, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, and 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. And just give it a good mix. Just gonna pour it all over the kimchi, bacon, garlic, and green onions. I mixed all the sauces first in a different bowl. I think it helps break down the pepper paste better and mixes in better, but you can add it directly to the pan if you want. Perfect. Let's mix this up until it's well combined. The smells are immaculate in my apartment. Yum! Okay, this is coming together so nicely. I'm gonna add in 2 cups of leftover rice. Leftover, okay guys? Leftover rice. You can use fresh if you want to, but then don't get mad at me if your fried rice is wet and soggy. Use leftover rice. Gonna break up the larger chunks and just get all of this well incorporated. We're gonna cook the rice for 3 to 4 more minutes, and I'm actually gonna let the rice crisp up on the bottom. When my best friends and I made fried rice in college, we would always let the rice crisp up, and then we would fight for that scorched rice because the texture is just so
So good. It's actually a very popular snack amongst Koreans. It's called nureungji and it's literally just scorched rice. It's so good. All right, y'all, this looks about done. So we're gonna turn off the heat and we're going to transfer this into my volcano-shaped bowl. And while I'm 1000% positive that every single one of you has a volcano-shaped bowl, in the off chance that you don't have a volcano-shaped bowl, you can just use a small to medium-sized bowl, as deep as you can find. This is the bowl I'm using. I usually use this for my noodles and it's actually the perfect volcano shape. Let's carefully transfer all of our fried rice into the bowl and we're gonna press it down until it's compact. Now we're gonna safely flip this onto our new pan. Your heat should not be on yet. Don't burn yourself. I'm actually gonna put the pan on top of the fried rice. And we're gonna flip it. Ta-da! Okay. Give it a little jiggle so it comes out. Ah! I'm gonna indent the top a little. Careful, if you press too hard and too fast, it will break apart. Ooh, I'm getting so excited. Why is food so fun and so good? I'm gonna make a fat crevice over here so we can get a lot of egg and cheese lava. Our volcano looks ready for the egg and cheese lava. Let's turn our heat back on to medium. And it's time for some action, baby. I have 4 whisked eggs in here and I'm just gonna pour it over our volcano. Oh my God. Ah! It looks so good. Cheesy goodness, guys. I'm gonna top it with mozzarella and just pour it all over our eggs. If you love cheese, you know, I'm not stopping you from adding more. If you wanna go the extra mile, sometimes I like to add sweet corn and it just, oh, food heaven. We're gonna cover our pan just until the eggs cook through and the cheese melts. Avoid overcooking your eggs because we don't want it to be dry and rubbery. We want it to be light and fluffy. All right, guys, looks about done. This is the cheesy volcano fried rice. A delicious kimchi fried rice surrounded in an egg and cheese moat, topped with even more cheese. This is a good day. Moment of silence, please. Sometimes food just needs a moment to shine. Wow, that's so good. Of course, it's not too different from your average kimchi fried rice, but making it like this is so fun. I'm gonna invite my boyfriend to try it. George, you wanna come try this?
Sure. Whoa, that is beautiful.
I kind of ruined it.
Well, I mean, it already looks so good. The lava's flowing out.
You wanna try?
Yes, I would love to.
Good?
You did a good job. That's so good.
Hey guys, I'm Jasmine and I love boba. You might have seen me over on Bring Me trying to finish a gallon of boba milk tea or trying unique boba treats in Taiwan. Because for me, boba is just one of those things that can turn a bad day into a better one. So I thought I would share 5 delicious and gorgeous boba recipes with you all so we can enjoy them together. All right, guys, we're gonna start by making the boba first. We're making it from scratch. Of course, if you don't want to make it from scratch, you can buy pre-made boba from any local Asian grocery store. But actually making boba from scratch is quite easy and is only 3 ingredients. 3, not 6, 3. So let's start by adding in our water and our muscovado sugar. And we're gonna turn that onto a medium-high heat. We're gonna stir this until it dissolves and comes to a boil. It's starting to boil, so I am going to add in a little bit of tapioca flour. You wanna mix this in well because we don't want these clumps. If you find that you're clumping too much, you can add a little bit of water to make that dissolve just a little bit easier. Once it looks something like this, we're going to add in half of our tapioca mixture. So we're just gonna stir this really vigorously until it forms a super sticky dough. Now that you got a super sticky dough like this, we're gonna turn the heat off. We're gonna add in the rest of our tapioca flour. And once that forms into a ball, we're going to move over to a new workstation and roll out the dough.
I just let our boba dough cool for a little bit and I'm transferring it onto this clean counter and I'm just gonna incorporate all the tapioca flour into the dough. If your dough feels a little dry, you can add a little bit more water. If you feel like your dough is too wet, you can add a little bit more tapioca flour. I'm just gonna knead it until it's all incorporated. Once your dough is formed, it should look something like this. Roll it into a thick little oval, like this, like a potato. I split it in half, and then we can easily roll both out. If it gets too long, you can separate them. When you think it's the right size, make it just a little bit smaller because it does expand when you cook it. And the boba dough does get harder to roll once it cools down. So if you want, you can put like a warm, wet towel over part of the dough while you're rolling out the other part. Alrighty, so I have 4 thinly rolled boba dough logs, and I am just going to put them together, and I'm going to be cutting them into small little boba pieces. Think a 1/4 inch. It's also okay that they're not all uniform. So now that we've gotten them into our little baby pieces, we roll them up into little balls. Let me show you a couple hacks on how I make this a little quicker of a process. So of course you can do it one by one like this, and you have your little boba. Or sometimes I'm able to put 5 on my palm. I'll put my palm over the other, and after some good old rolling, you'll have your delicious bobas. It didn't work. Today's not a good day. All right, so after some time rolling, you'll be able to see that they come out like this. Perfect. And then we throw them into a bowl with some tapioca flour and make sure they're well coated so they don't stick to each other. The other hack is spreading them onto the cutting board or your counter, wherever workspace that you choose, and just go to town. If you occasionally feel lazy in the kitchen like me, then this hack is great. But make sure your dough isn't too cold or this hack won't work. Ta-da! Look at that! Little boba babies. I call it boba, but you know, in different parts of the world, they are called something different. Boba, bubble tea, pearls. In Taiwan, they say zhenzu, which is pearl. Now that the water has come to a rolling boil, we're going to add in all of our boba, and we're gonna stir it so it doesn't stick together. It's gonna turn a little cloudy just because of that excess tapioca flour that was coating it. You can mainly leave it unbothered for the next 20 minutes or so. While the boba's cooking, let's make our brown sugar syrup. It's very simple. We're just gonna add in some muscovado sugar and some water. Gonna mix it and let it reduce just a little bit so it's nice and viscous. No, we are going to pour it into this heat-resistant glass over here. Yes, gorgeous. So now that the boba's done, we're gonna drain it and rinse it with cold water to keep it from cooking even more. And then we're gonna give our boba a brown sugar bath. You hear that? So we're gonna leave our bobas in this brown sugar syrup bath for about 30 minutes to an hour, just so it can really soak up that delicious, deep flavor of the muscovado sugar. Yum! I put this one first because I think everyone trying boba for the first time should definitely try the classic boba milk tea experience. The first step for making a boba milk tea is to make our tea. My favorite part is when the tea bag hits the water and then that heat that is slowly bubbling up, it causes that tea leaf to just release its gorgeous dark brown hue, and you can see those swirls in the water, and then you take your spoon, this is my favorite part, you press on the tea bag and it just like explodes with color. So while the tea is cooling down, we're gonna make our milk mixture. I personally love using condensed milk because I think it gives it a much richer flavor. It makes your boba milk tea multi-dimensional, and I want every experience with my boba to be multi-dimensional. Once you have those two together, you can whisk until it's combined. So this condensed milk mixture does make your drink even sweeter, especially with the muscovado sugar bath that the boba is currently in. So if you prefer your drinks to be less sweet, you can just sub it with more black tea. On average, when I go to boba shops, I get a 25% or 50% sweet. Time to assemble our first drink. So we're gonna start by adding in our boba, and then add in some ice, and then we're gonna add in our black tea and top it with our sweetened milk. I like to add it slowly over a spoon to slow down that pour and really get those swirls. You can see that I'm actually failing here, but it's okay because it's still pretty and delicious. And voila, that's our first drink, the classic black milk tea with boba. Wow, that is so good. All right guys, the next drink we're making is a mango slush with boba. It's absolutely delicious. It was one of my childhood favorites because it's just so
Sweet and summery and refreshing. It's super easy. Take your blender and we're going to add in some frozen mango chunks, some water, and some condensed milk and just blend away. Once we've blended everything together, we can grab a glass, and I'm adding in some boba that we made earlier, and of course, topping it with our mango smoothie. Look at how beautiful it is. I love it. Time to drink the mango smoothie with boba. Oh, this will be a throwback. Mango smoothie, guys. I mean, come on. It's so refreshing. The next drink we are going to make is a strawberry matcha latte. Let's start by making our strawberry puree. We're gonna add in half a cup of diced strawberries and 2 tablespoons of sugar. We're gonna muddle it with a fork until it's nice and juicy. You can muddle it to your liking. So if you like chunks in your drink, feel free to leave some chunks. Now that we have it muddled, we're gonna let it sit for 10 minutes. So while that's sitting, we're gonna go and make our tea. We're gonna add a teaspoon of matcha powder to a 1/3 cup of hot water and whisk it until bubbles form on the surface. If you don't have a whisk or a matcha whisk, don't worry, you can totally just use a fork. We're gonna add in our boba per the usual, and then we're gonna top it with our muddled strawberries. Now put in the ice after the strawberries. This will help with the layering. We're gonna slowly add in the half and half. The last step for this drink is to add our matcha. Again, slowly pour it over this drink. This drink is like very anxiety heavy, huh? Slowly. Oh, slowly, slowly. Look guys, it's so pretty. Strawberry matcha latte. The colors are just absolutely gorgeous. If you're trying to impress your friends, this is a drink to make. But I have to mix it. I'm sad I have to, but you know, it's just the way things are. It actually is still very pretty. Those chunks of strawberry are giving it a nice hint of red. Cheers! It's the perfect blend of matcha and strawberry. It's light, creamy, and fruity. I got a mouthful of strawberry puree and I'm in heaven. This is the taro milk tea with boba. It has a nuttiness to it that the other drinks don't have. So I've already steeped my green tea and let it come to room temperature. And now I'm gonna whisk my taro powder into the green tea. If you haven't had taro before, taro is a root. I would compare it to a sweet potato, but slightly more bland and slightly more sweet. It's very delicious. You can also sub the green tea with water if you're not looking for a caffeine kick, but trust me, the taste with the green tea just elevates it to a whole other level. Let's get to assembling. Add in our boba. Add some ice and then pour the taro tea into the glass. And then slowly add in our 2 tablespoons of half and half. Again, if you want that gorgeous swirl, you can pour it slowly over the back of a spoon. Mix it up and it's time to drink. Cheers! When you are chewing it and the flavor of the taro milk tea is fusing with the boba flavor, next level guys, next level. This is like the big home run because I think it's the prettiest. This is the PT latte with boba. If you don't know what PT is, it's a type of tea derived from the butterfly pea flower and it has this beautiful blue color. And if you squeeze a lemon into it, it turns purple. Look at that, a purple tea. We're gonna steep a teaspoon of loose PT leaves in a cup of hot water for about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna strain it and let it come to room temperature. That's essentially it. It's time to assemble, and we're gonna start by adding in our boba, ice, and then pour in our PT. Oh, it's so pretty. Look at that blue. I almost don't wanna ruin it. It's just so gorgeous, but we are. We're gonna add in a couple tablespoons of half and half, and it will look like you're drinking the ocean. And there you have it, the PT latte with boba. It's so gorgeous. Let's give it a try. I would say it tastes like a very, very light version of Thai tea. So if you enjoy lighter teas, this may be for you. There you have it, 5 must-try boba recipes that are delicious, unique, and beautiful. If you end up making any of these boba recipes or all of the boba recipes, make sure to tag me on Instagram so I can see it. Bye!
Oh, yes!